Oh.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. Roll call, please.
Mayor Larkey.
Here.
Councilmember Savage.
Here.
Councilmember Powell.
Here.
Councilmember Trutzel. Councilmember Kraft. Councilmember Clark.
Here.
Councilmember Goff.
Present.
Councilmember Lawson. Councilmember Peak.
Here.
All right, at this time, I'd like to do a moment of silence for retired Sergeant Randy Scott, who passed recently with the Belton Police Department. Thank you. No personal appearances at this time. Consent agenda. Motion non-debatable to approve the recommendations noted, and a member of the council may ask for an item be taken from the consent agenda for discussion and separate action.
Present.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. A motion approving final reading of Bill 2021-55.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Belton, Missouri, amending Section 8-119, Costs, Fees, and Surcharges of the Code of Ordinances, City of Belton.
Present.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mayor Larkey.
Yes.
Councilmember Savage.
Aye.
Lawson.
Aye.
Powell. Clark.
Aye.
Goff.
Aye.
Peak.
Aye.
Motion carries. B, a motion approving the final reading of Bill 2021-56.
An ordinance authorizing an agreement with the Office of State Courts Administrator for the implementation of the Show Me Courts court automation software, authorizing the purchase of a software interface between the Brazos ticket writers and the Show Me Courts system, and approving the reappropriation and revision of the City of Belton fiscal year 2022 adopted city budget for the purpose of funding the required Missouri Supreme Court rules requirements.
Present.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I've heard that settled.
You need to announce he's here or anything?
I got it.
Okay. We're on the regular session, item B, regular agenda, item B. I'll wait till you get settled so you can. You good? Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Savage.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Kraft.
Aye.
Lawson.
Aye.
Powell.
Yes.
Peak.
Aye.
Goff.
Aye.
Mayor Larkey.
Aye. Motion carries. C, a motion approving final reading of Bill 2021-58.
An ordinance of the City of Belton, Missouri, creating a new Chapter 6, Article 22, Mobile Vending, amending Chapter 6, Article 6, Ice Cream Vendors, and amending Appendix A, Schedule of Fees and Charges of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Belton, Missouri.
Present.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Clark.
Aye.
Savage.
Aye.
Kraft.
Aye.
Lawson.
Aye.
Powell. Peak.
Aye.
Goff.
Aye.
Mayor Larkey.
Yes, motion carries. City Council liaison reports.
Yeah, update from Parks. We moved the final car show from the end of October to October 9th. And I know the Personnel Committee has been meeting and working hard on finding a new park director. So that's the update for now.
This
Go
is from last night's Planning Commission. We had two public hearings. The first was we approved a special use permit for an electronic price display on the QT billboard at 162nd and Outer Road. The second public hearing, we discussed and approved changes to the Uniform Development Code that will eventually be brought before the council for approval. A, would create provisions for accessory dwelling units in residential zoning districts, which would be changing UDC 41C2. The main discussion was around architectural style and size of the additional dwelling. B was to amend the public hearing procedures pertaining to required mailings and required postings of public hearing sign as a notification requirements for rezoning and special use applications, UDC 20-2. The discussion centered on reinstating a requirement that the city mail the certified letters to residents within 185 feet of rezoning, and the developer would pay for the mailings, but the city would actually mail them in city envelopes. This method was recommended because several Allen Avenue residents did not receive certified letters from North Point prior to the rezoning of the Southview Golf Course. And I brought some evidence of that. But anyway, the Planning Commission thought this was an issue of compliance and did not warrant changing to a system that would add work to the staff. However, we agreed to require the developer of future proposals to post signs 1 to 5, still to be decided, near the subject site for rezoning, alerting the neighbors of the Planning Commission's scheduled meeting on the rezoning of that property. C, we amended several UDC sections on sidewalks to ensure that sidewalks are at improved sites linked to existing sidewalks and or nearby developed properties. D, we considered a noise ordinance for new businesses or new operations in existing businesses that does not increase the noise level at nearby residential properties. Dave and I have a few more things to work out before this comes to the council for approval, particularly how to involve a consultant to wordsmith the ordinance. This is my own editorial comment I mentioned last night. I think we want an ordinance that preserves the quality of life for our residents without putting an undue burden on industries that want to operate in Belton. The E was we approved proposed amendments pertaining to Chapter 32 Stormwater Management and Flood Protection as summarized by the Department of Public Works. This removes a couple of exceptions to the code that allowed houses to be built in stream buffer lands. Also, in Section 32, we approved raising the rate for per impervious acre if a developer chooses to not provide stormwater detention. In addition, we agreed to change language in Section 26 that conflicted with the requirement for concrete driveways and right-of-ways. Number 3, a non-public hearing. We considered the final plat for the Mill subdivision located at Cambridge and Mullen Road. We approved the final plat, which provides space for the new intersection at that location. And our next meeting is October 18.
Any questions? Go ahead.
I have a question. You, Councilman Powell, you said the sign for the zoning notice would be near the site. Is it not supposed to be actually on the site?
It'd be on the site. I mean, if you have a huge site, though, if you think of the apartments there along Y Highway at 100,
Right.
at Given Road, you can put one right there at the site on Y Highway, but a lot of people that use Given Road and 58 may not even see it. So we're considering you probably need, well, in my opinion anyway, I don't know how it's actually going to play out, but you might need more than one sign for the neighborhood that's most affected, which would be Bradford Estates, to have more than one sign than just the one on Y Highway.
But it's still going to be on the site, not
definitely
in the neighborhood somewhere.
Right, no, definitely at the site, yes. But if you think about that site, it could be on Given Road, it could be on Y Highway. Again, to me, it wasn't quite clear where, I mean, it's obvious looking at a map where the site is, but where to put the sign. If it's a huge site, you might have to put 2 or 3 signs, maybe 5, as many as 5 to.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I probably didn't catch all that because you brought up giving and putting a sign over there, but if that land's not being rezoned, I don't think the sign should ever be on the land that's not being rezoned because that would just confuse people.
Oh, no, this is only prior to
I would put it right
rezoning
there
or
where
temporary.
Turner Road is and put a sign up and say, plans being rezoned, and
Yeah.
people drive by that every day. I
Yeah.
don't care if you live in Bradford Place or Kentucky Trail, I drive by that every day. So, I mean, I think our goal and our thing was just allowing people that live more than 185 feet away from the property to be notified.
Right. Well, I think, and I just use that as an example of a past case. I mean, all this would apply to new cases for rezoning, not for final plans or things like that.
Any other questions? All right, I have no communications tonight. City manager's report.
Yes, I wanted to let the council know that I received a request from Chris Thompson at West Central, and they are working with the Welcome Inn. As everybody knows, the Welcome Inn people, the residents that are living there, are going to be relocating. And they've had really good luck with the vast majority of the individuals that are moving. And they are working, the owners of Welcome Inn, Ken Logan and Chris Thompson, are going to be working together to help facilitate the move for the final folks that need a facility. So I just thought that that was great news that they're going to be working together, and wanted to share that with everyone. The other item is that we did get the census data in. I've shared that with council. Our population in 2010 was 23,116. Our population in 2020 came back at 23,953, a growth of 837 people, or 3.6%. The way the current makeup is now, we have talked about redistricting. There is allowed up to a 10% variance. Each of the wards is currently within their variance, but we do have, fortunately, we have a GIS coordinator on staff who's able to take a look at the data and try to look at maybe some small variance changes in order to bring those numbers a little closer together by ward. And we will be bringing that back to council at the next meeting and the next work session. So I just wanted to let you know about that. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you. Any communication from council?
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I would like to report that we did have our Zoom meeting on Friday regarding the Meadow Creek
All right, yeah.
egress, ingress, additional road. There seemed to be almost zero interest from the people there regarding this, contrary to what I was led to believe. So I had a couple phone calls afterwards even, and they were in the same boat saying, why are you making us do this? And I explained it to them. So for anyone that's watching and wanting to know, it's a dead issue. So.
Well, you know, I found it strange that the person that was pushing it didn't even show up to the meeting, so.
Yeah, well, I thank everyone for their time and to put in it. Patrick, Greg's not here.
Anybody else?
I guess I have something.
Go ahead.
I'd like to thank Andrea. There's a new event permit place on the web, which replaces, I think it replaces the block party permit application. And I still have some questions about it, but I think it's a good step in the right direction to clarify how you get an event for street closures in the city.
All right, good. All right, nothing else. I'd entertain a motion to enter an executive session to discuss matters pertaining to legal actions according to Missouri State Statute 610.021.1, and to discuss matters pertaining to hiring, firing, discipline, or promotion of personnel according to Missouri State Statute 610.021.3, and discuss matters pertaining to negotiated contracts according to Missouri State Statute 610.021.12, and that the record be closed and the meeting adjourned from there.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Peak,
Aye.
Savage,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Lawson,
Aye.
Powell,
Yes?
Kraft,
Aye.
Goff,
Aye.
Mayor Larkey.
Aye. Motion carries.